Hello everyone, welcome back to our My 2015 tutorial, or our elf modeling project. This one is part 8. Um, we have our arms and legs attached. We need to do the chest, and then we can start working on the head. Okay, so the chest, like I said, is going to be a little more difficult than you may think. Can't just extrude out the chest region. Doesn't quite work that way. It doesn't look very natural. We started running some of this geometry down to kind of help with starting the chest region. But we're going to need to bring in some new geometry to kind of bring this together. So we're going to start by creating ourselves a sphere. My sphere pop down here in the center. Okay. So let's go ahead and dump this down to, let's say, 10 by 10. Oops, not on scale. My bad. Underneath the inputs, there's the shape. We want to do axis 10 by 10. Okay. Yep, that should work. Okay, so next we want to deal with the triangles on the top before we go anywhere else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the top ones here, and I need to turn off soft select and mirror geometry or symmetry. Okay. Make sure I don't have any faces down here selected I didn't want. There we go. Apologies if you hear all the clicking in the background. That's my son. He's sitting in with me playing some games in the background. Okay. There we go. What I'm doing here is I deleted off all those triangles on the top there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select two edges on each side to create the bridge. So I'll use a bridge here. Okay. Now this is a 5-sided polygon, so that's not really going to work. So I'm going to need to actually do some adjusting here. Let's go divisions. Let's add one division. Now I'm looking at having one 5-sided, but then I'll also have a triangle over here, so I actually need another division. Okay, so now I'll be dealing with one quad here and then another quad here, so that'll work for me. So this is just a simple base mesh editing so that we're getting rid of the triangles and then we have quads. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill these in. We're going to use our append to polygon tool that is on my shelf right here. It's also underneath mesh tools, append to polygon. Okay, so click on one edge. Once you've clicked on an edge with append to polygon, these little pink triangles will appear on the edges that you can now fill to. I'm going to click this one on the opposite side because that's where I want my first quad to fill in. Hit enter. I'm going to hit G because I want that to happen again. I'm going to add in one more quad right there. Same deal over here. I'm going to add in a quad there and add in a quad over here. Okay, so that adjusts our quads so that now we have, these are all quads again. I do want to experiment with one thing. I'm going to backpedal just a little bit here. You guys, if you don't want to, just leave it as it is if you follow it along. Just the way that these quads are running off diagonally. Let's see if I can do a quick change here to where it's not exactly like that. Let's see if, so don't necessarily follow me. It's more of just an experiment I'm going to try out doing really quick. Try to see if I add in another bridge line. If that makes it to where I can. That would make it to where there's a quad here, there's a quad there, and then make a triangle here. I did 4. Now I would have a quad here, a quad here, and a quad here. Yeah, that's the way I want to go. So I've changed my divisions to 4. If you want to follow along with this way, go ahead and do so. I'm just going to do a little bit of an experiment here to see if this looks a little bit more natural with the edge flow. Okay, so back to append to polygon. I'm just going to fill in this one, that one, and this one. Okay, and then same thing over here. This just makes it to where it doesn't look like the edge flow is twisting as it's moving along. And then I just have to go through and take these vertexes right here, and just scale them together so it's more of a, oops, not that one, this one. It's nice to where it's more of a quad and not so much of a triangle. When there's straight lines like this, they don't like that so much. Makes it hard for test light. Okay, so now we're looking better. Alright, one thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to select these top faces here. And I'm just going to give it a little bit more of a raise than it currently has. When I deleted off those triangles, it took off the roundness on the top. So I'm just going to extrude. Oh, I think that has some big non-selected. Let's make sure it's just the top. Yeah. There we go. So I'm going to now extrude. And we'll extrude these together like so. Oh, don't want to overlap them. Let's go to the center then. There we go. And then I'll just raise this up a little bit. Okay. And then these center ones here, I'll just raise a little bit. That'll round it a little more. And that should be good enough. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to deal with the actual shape of the breast, and we need to get rid of the bottom section here because we don't need this at all. Just delete that off. Okay. Now we're going to position it on our elf's chest. Okay. Like so. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust it from the side view. And I think that soft select would be a good route to go here. First thing I need to notice right out the gate is that this is still too big for our elf. Okay. Alright, so this is round, so I have to make sure we're using soft select when it comes to editing this thing, otherwise it's going to look really weird. Can't just do the whole grab a vertex and push. Got to affect the entire region a little bit. So 1.6 is a little strong. Let's go down to 0.5. Okay. That's good. This one I'm going to bring up. Okay. 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 I'm not trying to capture this curvature of the side breast. That's something we'll do later on after this is fully attached. Right now I'm just trying to capture the curvature from outside over here, which is, we're almost there. Let's just take this part here out and just, oops, kind of go up like so. Capture this line here. Okay. Now let's go and check out the front here. Okay, so some of this needs to be pushed in. Turn soft select back on. Turn it up to 0.7. Okay. Grab some of these and pull it off to the side here. Okay, that's okay. I know that you guys are probably looking at this and you're like, oh, well, it doesn't quite match this. And then the reason why I'm not going to try pushing the bottom is just because from the side it matches, and you have to kind of pick one if it doesn't match up perfectly in all angles. I'm just going to go with the side since it was already fitted there. All right, so that looks okay. Next thing we have to do is the hard part, which is actually attaching this part in, which means we have to adjust our edge flow to kind of match with this. In some cases it'll work okay, and others we'll have to delete off some faces and redraw things in. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our object mode, because we have to combine these two objects for this to work correctly. Okay, and you can see there's some interpenetration going on here, stuff that we can correct a little bit later on. But let's go ahead and get going here. So I'm going to combine these two. Mesh combine if you don't have it on your shelf. Okay, so some of these faces on the inside need to go. Turn off soft select again. My tool settings. Soft select. Okay, so a lot of these faces right here I'm going to delete because they're not actually going to help me. And we're going to have to do some the way that the edges here run. It's called edge flow correction. We want some of this edge flow from the pecs to run into our breast area, which is, some of it's already doing it. We kind of did that here. But we're going to have to do it even more so for a lot of this. So let's go ahead and start attaching the pieces we know are going to work. So we're going to deal with this part here. So I'm going to use my pen to polygon tool. Just go ahead and add this part here in. Okay. And don't worry about like the roughness, how this may be too round. We can adjust this later on. I'm not really concerned with that currently at the moment. The next one is I want this face to run into here. So this face here needs to go. We're going to run our pen to polygon tool from here to here. We do have this edge here that needs to be fixed for that to work. So I'll drop in an edge loop right here. And then I will use my modeling toolkit. So modeling toolkit's right here. I already have my tab open, so I'll just go to here, and I will go to target weld. And I want to have this edge welded to this spot. Okay. Yes, I know this is. I mean, if you look at it from the side, this is very blocky. The breast doesn't look like that. We're going to smooth that out once we get this all running into itself correctly. Okay, making some good progress here. Let's see here, what's next? We want to have this face here connect up in here, so we can. I don't think we need to do an edge correction there. That might not be necessary. Okay, I just need to do a target weld. Okay, that works. And for the underbreast, we can just move this geometry down and connect that in. go vertex. Getting too much there otherwise. Okay. Batch target weld. We're going to target weld this vertex up there. Okay. Okay, now we have some new geometry in here that we need to be able to run into itself. So this vertex I'm going to slide down slightly so I can have some room to edit this geometry. What I'm basically going to be doing here is I need to have this extra face, because obviously this one's going to go straight down, but then we're going to be left with this one here. So what I want to do is have this face have another edge that comes in right here and then goes over here, and we can have this one here will be a quad that will connect the two, hopefully. So let's go ahead and try that route first. I might have to adjust this later on once I mirror this, but a lot of geometry correction in this kind of area is sometimes a little bit guesswork, and sometimes you have to backpedal. It isn't necessarily a straight line forward. So continuing forward, I'm going to use my multi-cut tool. I'll just click right here and say that I want to cut right there. Alright, and now I'm going to do my target weld. There we go. Good. Now what I could do is append a polygon here and delete this edge here, and that'll create a quad right there. So that sounds like a plan. Just click this edge, click that edge. There we go. Go ahead and do delete edge vertex. Actually, no, we can't delete edge vertex. We just delete edge. We want to keep those vertexes there. That way now we have a quad. Okay, so that's doing good. Alright, so let's work our way up to the top here. There's these edges here. We need to have like some cleaving here, so there has to be some more geometry. So we're going to take these edges over here, and we could just push them out a little bit and see how that works out for us. Straighten them out. Let's check the front view and see what I'm looking at here. Looks like it's still too far over. They actually need to be right in line. So maybe the breast needs to be moved over a little bit. So we'll move the breast faces over just a little bit. Okay. That works. Alright, so now I'm ready to let's see here. I could quad draw this part here, but let's see here. I'm gonna have this face here run down into this part, so I'm gonna do a quad or append a polygon on here. Let's see if that solved my problem. We have to delete this face for the moment. To move this one over a little bit. Okay, so what am I looking at here? I got a quad right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I would have a quad here and a weird quad right there. So that's not really helping me a whole bunch. Okay, but if I move this vertex over this way, and take this vertex and move it over that way as well. Now I have a decent quad right here. A decent quad right there. Let's go ahead and work that direction. Okay. Actually, I think that if it goes around this way, that might look more natural. Let's go with that route. Okay. And then if I take this vertex here and push it down, take this one and pull it over, I have a real looking quad there. Okay, so now it's attached in. Now, yeah, it's got a little bit of weird shape, so I gotta adjust some of this. Okay, so let's first check and see what we look like in smooth preview. Okay, doesn't look horrible, but it still has some room for improvement. Let's go ahead and start working on that improvement. Okay, so let's first deal with how this kind of looks lumpy in here. We're going to use my sculpt geometry tool. You are familiar with this tool. We have raise out, we have smooth, we have relax. The one we're looking for right now is smooth. We want a low strength, low displacement. I'm just going to hold down shift just to make sure it engages, and just doing single clicks here, and it's just smoothing out averaging out the geometry. Now don't do too much of this because otherwise you'll kill the dimension on your boob. Breast, sorry. Okay. Let's see what we're looking at now. Okay, looking a little bit better. Let's focus on this area now because this is obviously indented way too far. And this is this part, so we need to raise this part out a little bit. The chest doesn't cave in where the breasts are. So we need to go to face mode, and we will turn on soft selection so we can have it all kind of raise out at the same time. Maybe go up to 1. See if that does it for us. Okay. Let's go to vertex mode because really it's just needs to be, if you look at this line here, it just needs to be more smooth. This line needs to be just a little bit. Let's go down to 0.5 and soft select, that way not doing so much back and forth on it. Okay, let's smooth preview again, see what we're looking at. Okay, that helped. Looking a little better. We lost a little bit of the curvature of the breast, but we can deal with that again later once we get this figured out a little bit more. Okay. If you look at it from this view, it's out too far. Let's go ahead and do some shape correction on it. Knock it up to 0.8. Okay, so it would be this being regular mode there. Let's see here. That may be too flat. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like on Smooth Preview. Yeah, it's kind of flattish. Let's see if we can just use the nipple region to add that definition back into it I'm looking for. That makes it not look like a pancake. That looks better. Okay. Yeah, that's alright. We need some more geometry underneath it to kind of define the rib region as well. While we're at it, let's also kind of go through, and I need to soft select off of this portion. Make sure that my center line here is completely straight. If this ends up coming off at some point, things will start to not look correct. When you go to mirror it, it'll be a gap. So this will solve that problem. So turn your scale tool, grab the red box, and just slide it towards the center. That will average everything towards one line and make it to where when it mirrors, there's no gap. Okay, so let's go ahead and just do a test mirror and see what we're looking at. We're going to go to Mesh Tools, Edit Mesh, Mesh, there we go. Mirror Geometry. Okay, let's go ahead and hit Apply. Alright, there we go. This looks give us a better idea what we're looking at with our breasts. And okay, so let's go ahead and smooth preview that, see what we're looking at. Okay, so they're too close together for one. We need to define the rib cage a little bit better there. I can adjust it while I'm in this mirror mode. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and turn on symmetry. See if that will work. Sometimes it doesn't work after you've mirrored it. Seems like it's being rebellious for me now, so apparently that's not going to work. No, okay, fine. No mirroring. And we'll go to soft select then. And we'll just select one face on each side. I wonder if what happened with the mirror, maybe that's part of it. Let's go to Mesh, Mirror Geometry, make sure that, yeah, merge with the original, merge vertexes. Yep, this should be fine. Not sure why it's not working correctly. Symmetry anyways. So maybe what I want to do is just make these breasts a little bit further apart. This is going to be just kind of I'm winging it a little bit here. I'm just going to scale them apart a little bit. See how that looks. Could be part of the problem is I just don't have enough geometry between these two. That could be possibly part of the issue it's having. Why it's not looking exactly the way I want it to look. But let's take a look and see what we're looking at now. It's looking better. I can live with that. We're going to be having clothes over the top of this anyways. Okay. Next thing I want to do is to move up this edge loop to kind of define the rib cage area. This should kind of come up about to right here. This is where the sternum will kind of be somewhere near the, let's see here, we can kind of use the side view a little bit. This should be kind of defining somewhat the rib cage area, so this would be close to where the sternum is. the ribcage kind of follow along this line, so we'll kind of use that as a guide, if you will. Okay, so we're going to go to vertex mode, turn off soft select. Really at this point I don't need the other half of my geometry, so I can probably just go ahead and kill that. I should probably do it from this view right here. Okay, go ahead and delete that. Make sure I didn't accidentally delete something I needed, or got a little bit left behind here. Go ahead and get rid of that. And that. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and help define this region here. The ribcage doesn't really come down this low, so I'm not going to exactly follow. I'm just using it as a guide to follow that curvature. Ribcage actually comes back up around this area, so I'm actually going to bring these ones back up. And then I'll use this lower edge here to help capture what I changed over here. I'm definitely not pushing forward here, because that will ruin the roundness of our torso. Except for right here. I do want to bring that in. So right here. Move those in just a little bit. And right here we'll move out just slightly. Okay, so let's see what we're looking at here. See if everything's still good. Yeah. Okay. That will work. I'm gonna add in one more piece of, add in one more edge loop in here. Let's go insert with edge flow. I'll make it to where we can fix some of this. Or I corrected the geometry and made it to where it was more blocky looking. Okay, let's go ahead and check again, see what we're looking at. Alright, that's looking better. One thing I also want to do is, let's go ahead and actually add in a little bit of volume in here. We're at 34 minutes, so I don't really have a lot more time, but this should have a little bit more lift to it. Shouldn't be quite. Let's see here. Okay, soft select. Go ahead and try using that to get to where I'm at. That's what I'm looking for. That spot right there. There we go. I think that should kind of give me what I'm looking for here. Just a little bit more volume, more muscle tone, where the breast and pec run into the shoulder region. Okay. All right, so I'm running pretty long here. I'm at over 35 minutes already to deal with this chest. I'm still fiddling with it. I'm going to have to call it for now. I'll probably come back and edit this a little bit more, but like I said, we're going to be having clothing over the top of this, so I don't really want to spend too much to make sure this is just completely anatomically correct, since there's going to be clothing over the top of it, but it might be a subject I want to revisit later on. From here on out, though, I think that I am good to move forward, I believe. So let's go ahead and go to normals, soften edges. That will get rid of any kind of blocky anything that we had going on here. Anything else is still kind of blocky, you can just be like, alright, well, faces, normals, soften edge, and same thing here. But yeah, they look good to me for now. Let's go ahead and go to mesh. Since we're ready to start working on the head, we're going to go to mirror geometry, and same settings, just hit apply. This middle edge here, we just go to normals and soften edge again. I'll get rid of that little line you saw up here where the split happened. Okay, so now we have our torso done. We're ready to start working on the head. So in the next lesson, we will start working on the facial features, and we'll probably spend a couple lessons doing that, and then move on from there. Alright, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.